guys, welcome back to the show. Today I have with me the young, handsome, unemployed Hesley Fonane. So he decided to write a book since he has no job. Dude, do you have a job, man? Do you have a job? If you have a job, correct me.
Writing is my job.
Yeah, I mean, in Cameroon, I guess people say that when you're unemployed, you do that. You can write on Facebook. You have data.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
Writing is my job. I'm not unemployed. I'm self-employed. There's
Anyway,
difference.
so he's here to present to you his book, Sense Past King. So, I mean, before we get into the book, you want to tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit of history, how you got to writing? Just talk, man. Let's go.
All right. I'm Hesley Fonane, as I said.
Yeah. As I said, that's your name.
Yeah, that's my name.
Okay.
I mean, people call me a lot of things, but I'm officially Hesley Fonane.
All right, cool.
Yes. I was born and bred in Bamenda.
Mm-hmm.
I studied in Sacred College, Mancon. I was a few years behind you, actually.
Okay. I didn't want to put in a secret, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
So after that, I went to University of Boya. I studied computer engineering. Once I was done with that, I decided, you know what, let me write. So I became a writer. Not unemployed. I'm self-employed. I could have gone out there and looked for a job. I did not. I mean, I tried. I dropped like my CVs around it.
And you didn't get a job, so you're unemployed, so you decided to write.
No. I stopped like after like
Okay,
2
you
days.
stopped looking.
Yeah.
You stopped looking, and then you're like, okay, now this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
how did you get into writing? Like, where did you develop the passion? What inspired you, and all that kind of stuff?
Okay. First of all, like I was telling someone today, I'm a natural born storyteller. So from when I was really young, I just wanted to tell stories. I was always telling people about my day, what I did, and I was not very good at it. Then I developed this habit of reading because my dad would always buy me like little books. There was this ladybug that like
Yeah, the
little
ladybug.
book.
Yeah, the ladybug. Yeah, I know the book,
So
yeah.
I started reading, and then I
Forgotten
got
about
to like
those.
secondary school, and I was always in the library. Was reading books. Then I started writing like poems and like short stories. So until I got into university, then like in my final year, I started to think to myself, okay, so what do I want to do now? Because I realized engineering was not my thing. I thought, and eventually I decided, you know what, Hesty, you have to be a writer, and because I think with writing is something I'm really good at, and I can really be like a really good writer, but I just need to put in the effort and the time. So I was like, yo, you're going to give this a shot, and you're going to do this, and the world is going to appreciate this.
Yeah, I know. I always say this thing like, by their heroes you shall know them, and I think that in Cameroon we don't have a lot of heroes. That's why many people want to be Samuel Eto'o and Stanley, because these are the like really the most
people can
talked
relate
about
with,
stories
yeah.
that we have. So, is there any Cameroonian writer that kind of like that you've come across that you admire? Any Cameroonian like?
The truth is, growing up, I didn't read a lot of stuff by even African authors. I'm not going to end with Cameroon. Like, I read a lot of foreign stuff, and that's one thing that when I was decided to write, I was like, okay, one of the reasons why you need to do this is because you need to be a role model, or at least a motivator for the people around you. Because even the writers I know that are Cameroonian writers, they're like of a different generation. So the stories they tell,
like we know about the Mongo Betis and all those,
you know,
guys,
you talk about things like pre or just like post-colonial Africa and stuff that
just like far.
Yeah, it's like history to you. You know, I was like, I'm going to write something that Cameroonians can relate to. So I started doing this 3 years ago, and in that time, I've come to realize that a lot of writers now, young writers who are going to take us to the next level. You know, like there's this girl, Mbolomboe, this woman, she's a married woman. So in that time, I've come to realize I don't really have role models, but then there are a lot of people who motivate me, even people that you might not know their names, but just because I know we're doing this thing together. In the future, like 5 years from now, the industry will be different.
I myself am a writer, and I look forward to the day when people will gonna pay more attention to writers, because I think that writers have a way of communicating and preserving our history and kind of like defining, like explaining the times that we live in.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I hope that we can get more writers. I am more of the like maybe let me not say non-fiction writing. Yeah. So I'm like, I read your book. Your book is like all fiction. Yeah. So what do you think about the distinction? Like, do you think there's a market for non-fiction writing?
I think that there's a market for every kind of writing. You know, every genre, everything. It's just about the audience. Now, the problem with Cameroon is people always like Cameroonians don't read. I'm like, no. You see, we've not found a way to create that audience, that niche of readers. So when it comes to your question of what I think about, there are non-fiction readers out there, right? So it's for those of us the writers to create good content, and then the marketers will help us build this audience so that we can be able to pitch our books to them. Because a lot of people they like things, they just don't know they like it.
Yeah.
It's for you to
They've not been
deliver to them.
exposed. Like I have that experience too. Like many people said I used to write long stuff, but then people like starting to people said no, I don't. It's not that I don't like reading. I just don't like reading stuff that's not interesting.
Exactly.
So, so
it
you
needs
gotta
to be
make
interesting.
Yeah,
It's
you
got
have
to
to
be
make
the
the
good kind of
interesting
content.
stories, and then people are gonna definitely read. So is this your first book?
No, this is the first book like I'm publishing like hard copy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The first book I wrote, it was like I was in my final year in university, and it's just on Kindle.
Yeah, what's the title of the book?
Okay, it's part of a series. Like the series is called The Several Heroics of Gregory Payne.
But you're reading only with the first part.
Yeah, just the
what's
first
it called?
part. Several Heroics of Gregory Payne.
Yeah.
If you're looking for it, just Google like Gregory Payne and Devil's Bible.
Okay.
Or if you can Google my name, like that's the only
Hesley
thing about me.
Fonane,
Yeah. I
Gregory
like the
Payne,
series
Devil's
wasn't
Bible.
other-
Like
yeah.
about Gregory Payne.
Gregory Payne and Devil's Bible.
Why? How did you come about that name?
First of all,
Max Payne?
no. First of all, like the Devil's Bible, every time I always tell people that like, is it like occultic? People are always scared. It's not. It's just fantasy, and the Devil's Bible is a real artifact, but it's just called that for show.
Mm-hmm.
When I write a book, right, I feel like the title sells the book.
Okay.
So you need to give a title that people are going to remember.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So that was the thing, and the character, the name, that name pretty much. That's one of the books I think named itself. Like the name just came to me. I just thought Gregory Payne, and that was it.
All right. So where how much are you selling this book from, and where can people find it?
Okay, so you can hit me up on social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Hesley Fonane, everywhere. Yeah, I'm working on distributors. I hope before next month runs out, I'll have a distributor like countrywide. So probably Pressbook. I'm not yet certain. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna put the links of like your social media handles here, so people can go hit you up and see what you're doing. So so far, how many copies have you sold?
So I've run out of. I have to reprint.
You have to reprint. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I printed-
But when did you release the movie actually? Yeah, but sorry, the book.
Yeah, I did the book launch.
Movies they don't get released. I forgot that movies don't get released, man. Fuck.
I did the book launch in Douala September 29th. Then Yaoundé I think was October 20.
Yeah, so it's not been out for long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not been out for long. It's not been out long. I did with my first. I did 700 copies.
Is it available digitally?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
available.
you
on
said
Kindle.
70 copies. So
700.
you've released 700 copies, and you've already sold all of those.
Yes.
Oh.
No, there are some copies, but they've been pre-ordered. So
Okay, yeah. So pre-ordered.
Yes,
so
I have someone who has. I just have to deliver
to
the
deliver.
person, yes.
Dude, man. So can you give me money?
We'll talk about that. Yeah, it's all about the money. So I asked on a reprint.
Yeah. Okay. Is it
Yeah,
available digitally though?
yeah, on Kindle, Amazon. Just check it out. Sense Pasking, the case files of Acha.
All right. So I kind of read one or two of the stories. You wanna like give one idea of what to expect in the book? Like I know that it's basically you're writing these stories about a private detective that goes to solve
It's detective
about
fiction.
different crimes.
So you see, the thing about this book is, I grew up like I think we all grew up in Cameroon, and you notice that there's a way Cameroonians think. So the moment we cannot explain something, the moment something happens,
I guess.
even if we can explain it,
Yeah.
there's always a hint of superstition. So one of my friends once told me, rich people don't die natural deaths in Africa.
Yeah.
Somebody must have killed him. So, and that thing it always intrigued me. So and there are many other stories like that. I started to think to myself, what if we had like this Sherlock Holmes in Africa who could debunk these myths, you know? And that's where most of these stories come from. So I try to create situations that would actually happen in Africa, but there's a logical explanation to it. It's not like witchcraft or something, you know? So there's that. Then also I try to bring in like other facets of our society. So it's not all about the myths, the mysteries. Some of the stories may be about like scammers and stuff, you know. I don't want to give a lot away, but yeah, so each story now reflects a facet of Cameroonian life, such that you, the reader, can identify with what's happening. It's real to you, but then it's a mystery, so I give you a chance to solve it, and then at the end, you know, it's explained to you, and then like the detectives in the story, they're like, okay, this what happened. This person has to go to prison or whatever.
I hope there are no stories in there where they have to do like a DNA test.
No. That's the thing. It is 100% Cameroonian.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we do. We don't go to crime scenes with black light and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to use that, right?
Yeah,
It's about the
exactly.
brain and like what you can observe and stuff. Yeah. DNA test in Cameroon.
Yeah, I know, right? Because okay. Anyway, So what I actually think, I believe, I love the stories, and I
Yeah.
think that this is something that we could like, since we have a failing movie industry, we can like kind of like use this kind of stories to kind of like create like series, something that's more interesting, more fun, to kind of rival like all the crime thrillers that we the investigative kind of like movies that we and series that we get from abroad. So are you looking? Is that something that you're looking to progress into, or you're considering?
Yeah, it's
getting
something
into
I'm
movie,
considering. You see, when you're writing a book, right? Like you kind of understand that okay, if this is a work of art, if this thing is as good as I believe it is, then it's going to go places. You know, like there'll be movies, maybe video games and stuff. But then you have to treat the book as a work of art on its own. So you write the best book you can. Then from then other things can be built on. So what happens is I've had like a few people approach me and are like, okay, we want to like maybe we can make a movie or something from this, and I don't want to get excited because I am a perfectionist. I want whatever it is to be executed the way I would like it to be, or at least if because I'm not really a movie person, I cannot tell you that I'll make a great movie. But if you're going to come to me, I should know that you can do a great movie, and I'm going to trust you with my work, so you don't ruin my vision.
All right. So I'm like I know creatives, like writers. I've studied a lot of writers from the past. They have like their rituals. They have times when they write. Some people got to take a cigarette. Some people got to drink some wine. Some people got to be on coffee. Do you have any ritual that you do that to put you in the mood of writing?
Okay,
creating?
so there are two things. The writing part and the creative part are two different things. So when it comes to creating, at times that I just realized if I want to create, if I want to think, because it's more about thinking, right? So you're trying to imagine stuff. I turn to do stuff with my hand. So maybe I'm like washing clothes or like
Jerking
cleaning.
off.
No.
That's with your hand.
Yeah, no, that I would always think. So, yeah, I might like clean. So I realized the favorite hobby. It's weird, but I like to clean my bathroom. So I'm like just scrubbing and I'm thinking. I'm not actually doing it.
So even your bathroom is clean and you want to write, you're gonna get in there.
Yeah, I gotta get it and clean it again.
That's weird.
So,
Do people
I know,
know?
right? It's weird. I just realized it. And then I eat my nails as well. But I've always done that, even when I'm like in an
you get
examination
full?
hall. No, it's just like you're just chewing and you're just like. So it starts with your nails, but eventually you realize you're eating
Yeah, you have no
the tips of
fingers.
your fingers. Yeah. So that's the creative process. And when it comes
Wait,
to
is
writing,
does that happen when you're creating, or is that anytime you eat your nails, you have ideas?
yeah, no, it's like when I'm thinking, right? So even especially in examination halls, like when I go to write exams or when I used to write exams, every time I step out, I don't have nails. Like everything's
So
finished.
when you're thinking, you
Yeah, I'm like, it's such a filthy habit.
so
I try to-
if
I've
you
tried to
write a
stop.
test for 5 hours, you come out with no fingers.
You know, like back school, every time there's like a week for exam. Right? So before I go, like at the start of the week, I have like grown fingernails. At the end, wow, everything like I have no nails at all. Like I'm eating the sides of my finger.